Oh, Lord. That's how I feel for this episode. The seat is actually hot. This is the hot seat today.
I don't think it's going to be as hot as the last one.
No, that wasn't. That was the dark seat. This is the hot seat.
Okay.
But yeah, welcome back. Where we're going to be honest, open, and transparent as we communicate with you, the listeners, and the watchers. Yeah, so we're just going to talk about us. Well, me today.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about me today because it's all about me today. Yeah, not entirely excited about it, but it's all good, though. It's all good. I mean, you don't want to walk into the unknown. You want to walk into known. Know what you're dealing with have to work through each and every day. The personalities do change often depending on the situation or the circumstance. Might be the happy flow, the mad flow, the frustrated flow. But hey, as long as you know flow, everything is going to flow the way it's supposed to go.
Right. So today,
Yeah.
we're just going to move on forward. Today we are going to be doing the background check with a Q&A.
No, we don't even have to tell them the title of the episode.
Why? I love it.
You don't have to tell them.
I thought it was really cool and
No,
clever.
listen. You don't have to tell them the title of the episode. We can just get into it because the title, we can just type that in. And then they get it that way.
It sounds good too, so I wanted to say it.
Now it feels like a movie. Like you're just waiting for that movie title to be named in the movie.
But you don't hear it. They just show it.
No, they actually say it sometimes in the movie.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Not normally.
I'm finna get rich or die trying. And they said it all in the movie. I don't know if they actually did. I ain't seen that 50 Cent movie in forever. But the people know what I'm talking about. We could have just left it alone.
Well,
anyway,
something you'll find out in the next episode when we talk about me.
Extra.
A little bit corny.
Extra.
Little.
Extra corn on the cob. But yeah, come on.
You're supposed to give us your background. So
no, you're supposed to ask me.
No, you're gonna set it up for you're setting it up for the people. I'm not just gonna jump into stuff and they're gonna be like, wait a minute, but why would you ask that question?
We're not gonna jump in. We're gonna dive in like Trey Songz. Come on.
Yes, and you're gonna dive into your background.
Anyways,
so you were born
many eons ago. I saw myself born August 1st, 1991. Yeah, it's a great image.
Eons ago.
When I first saw the light, it was it's quite powerful. Yeah.
And you call me extra.
Fresno, California is where I was born. It's a nice little country area, farmlandish, up north in California. Yeah. It's a pretty cool place. Spent the first 8 years of my life until I was devastated and had to move. Never liked it. Didn't want to move. If I had to move, wanted to move to good old LA, land of opportunity. But instead, went to the land of desolation. No, it wasn't that bad. We moved to Indio, California, where my dad was from Fresno. Even though it was voiced, I didn't want to move there. And I think that was very, very bad because that ideal stuck with me. Even though I'm there with the family, going to church, it was cool, but that mentality still stuck. And so a lot of unfortunate things did happen, which caused my thought process to come into reality and really not like the area. But yeah, so we moved from Fresno, then we went on to Indio, California. First thought was, it's hot. Why am I here? This is terrible. I miss my friends and my uncle Rodney, Uncle Kevin, Uncle Doug. Man, miss them people. So from there, we were in Indio 8. So for 10 years, 10 years in Indio, California. It was all right. Went to James Madison Elementary School. Then from there, to protect me from the world, we went to a private school, as my parents would have put it. all the stuff that was going on, and he's a school teacher, and so he wasn't having it. So we went to Desert Adventist Academy after my third grade year, I believe it was. I think it was a third grade year. And that was fun. That was literally the most fun I had the entire time I was in the desert, being completely honest. That was a lot of fun. Desert Adventist Academy, shout out to y'all. That was, man, y'all got me on the right foot, moving forward, opened a lot of doors educationally for me. Unfortunately, I didn't get to capitalize on all of them, but, you know, when you're a child, you have to follow. Got to learn to follow when you're a child. So that way, when it's time to lead, you know how to lead. So I've had to follow and go with and had no choice but to do what mama and daddy say. But yeah, they did open up a lot of doors. National Young Leaders Conference, Law Forum, National Honor Society. So it's all pretty good. It was pretty cool stuff coming out of that private school. I enjoyed it. Perfect. After that, went on to high school at La Quinta High School, which is probably the high school growing up. Because pretty much everyone I went to church with, Second Baptist, shout out to y'all, came out of La Quinta High School. And there was a gentleman I looked up to, Gulak. Ronaldo. Yeah, Ronaldo Gulak. Looked up to him. At the time, he was focused on being a brain surgeon. So I wanted to follow in his footsteps a little bit, per se, by going to La Quinta High School, playing basketball there, and trying to ball out. So yeah, I ended up going to La Quinta High School after Desert Adventist, and the first year was god awful. First time playing organized sports. I looked retarded out there on the court, literally tripping on the lines that are on the court. That was the joke before freshman year started. Literally. Ankle twisted and swollen. Yeah, it was terrible. I was a beast though at DAA. Man, dropping that 40, 30 rebounds, like 10 blocks, dishing out the assists. It was crazy. Walking quadruple double to walking nothing freshman year. Just trash. But my dad, put me through the rigorous desert workout. Literally, if you guys seen Creed 2, that is what I worked out in. That and soft sand that was in the wash. It was terrible. But it got me ready, and then I was a beast freshman year. Straight cold. Super confident.
Sophomore?
No, freshman year.
Oh.
Yeah, freshman year. We went 500 for the year. But, we went 500 for the year, but the stats were there. I was ready to turn into a cold brother sophomore year, headed to varsity. No, that didn't happen. I actually went to JV. I was disappointed and I was sad. But one of the leaders of the team, and then, people made certain decisions, and there was a freshman that came in and taller than me, a little bigger than me, as you can tell. I was probably a little bit smaller than this. Body type ain't changed, unfortunately. Tried very hard, but it didn't happen. But yeah. So I think it was like middle of the season. He ended up taking my starting spot, and not that he was better than me, just coach's decision. So I was hot the entire season. Had to play second fiddle, and then at home it's like you got beat out by a freshman. It wasn't even like that. Haters. I think that's where me saying haters. I got all these haters began. It began sophomore year, and a freshman took my spot. Godly, wasn't having it. I was hot, furious, and I started travel ball at the same time. So I was with Blue Crush. And we literally crushed people. That is no joke. It was a complete dunk contest just about every game when we played people. Some of them got a little heated, but it was cool. But just like when I was a freshman, straight trash, I was straight trash when I first started travel. Because that is a completely different competition than what I'm used to.
Okay, so when did you start going to Palm Desert?
We're not there yet. So, uh, yeah, we're not there yet. Don't get me caught off track. But anyway, so after that, what was I saying? I don't like when you
Travel
do that.
ball.
Travel ball. Yeah, so I was straight trash, travel ball. I was getting murdered. And yeah, so I took a little challenge getting used to a different level of competition cuz the desert is yeah. Think of it as professional travel ball. Like that's like the NBA, and then think of the desert as kindergarten basketball. That's how big of a shock it was for me. But I adjusted, turned into a beast with travel ball, and carried that over to the desert. And I was ready for junior year, straight killer. But then the haterism, it increased. I had a little bit more haters, and so a lot of the coaches, oh, you're not ready for this. I don't think you're ready for varsity, blah, 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 and all this and that. And whatever your dad got you doing isn't going to get you prepared and all this stuff. Just talking mess. The coach. And then, because it is the desert, majority white area. Well, that's how I say it, white. We had a few of my brethren, the Hispanics, because I'm not 100% black.
Yes, I know.
Got a little Belizean in there, my dad's side. He a Belizean Southern American. Dad from Texas, mama from Belize. So I got Belizean in me. So I ain't 100% black. But anyway, a few brethren was there. So, but yeah, straight haters. So the greatest moment in that time was murdering the entire varsity team one by one by myself. Literally. Yeah, and still got hated on. And then got my mama, the head coach, talked about my mama and my dad, how they raising me, how I'm not intellectual enough, didn't have the basketball IQ to stay up with the varsity team. So I left. That was junior year. And I went straight over to Palm Desert, the rival school, because Coach Brady was one of the coaches my dad wanted to play for when he was in high school, but never got the opportunity to at Indio High School. So I had a few vendettas. Had a vendetta against them, had a vendetta against Indio High School, because my dad used to teach at that high school, and then it didn't happen no more. Haters. So I had a vendetta against that school, so that was always a wonderful game of wonderful. I played volleyball that day, beat everything out the court. It was wonderful. Even when it was goaltending, I didn't care. I let you score the basket. It's the only reason why you got the point, because I blocked it. But yeah, that's how I took it. So went over to the rival school. Unfortunately, had to be on JV because you transfer and all that stuff, so they wouldn't let me play. So I pretty much averaged close to a triple-double. And then it was a hot game against La Quinta. Literally packed out. I've never seen it like that for a JV game. Me growing up watching, Gulag play basketball. I ain't never seen it packed like that. JV. So, there are a lot of people out there. Man, I wish we had video of those games. I would play it for you right in this clip, the whole thing. But it was a showdown for real. And we got down and dirty. But yeah, it was good. It was good. And then I guess you could say I was getting a little limelight, just a little shine out there. And a little shine. A few colleges out there. I ain't going to name drop, but Barack Obama's brother-in-law. But, tried to recruit me one time. And I need a letter of recommendation. And I had to go to the varsity coach. I asked him because I was going to be playing for him. And he wrote me a letter of recommendation. And then it went south. There was pretty much how I felt and how me and my brother see it, a directive to ensure that I would not be playing. So in the practice, it was literally elbow to the back, to the face, stepping on the ankle, all intentional stuff. And I knew it. Haters. haters. And just haters. And they knew I got invited to Adidas and a Nike camp through travel ball, all this stuff. You're not dedicated to the team. You're out there doing your own thing, blah, blah, blah. And so they was hating on me. And went up to yoke it, put the punctuation on my skill. And when you jump in the air, you're really vulnerable. And one of the teammates, younger kid too, that was on JV, he took my legs out and I fell flat back on the court and hit the back of my head and my back. And that was it. That was it. No tournament for me. No more basketball for me either. No more high school basketball for me after that. Yeah, my brother was furious, and he was a sophomore, I think, at the time. Freshman, I can't remember. I think he was a sophomore. And he stepped out on that court while I was hobbled. And he broke that entire varsity team by himself. Literally by himself.
I don't really know what that means.
Oh, it just means he just went out there and murked them. Was there stopping him? No. He wanted a bucket. He got a bucket.
Oh, like playing the game.
Yeah, you thought you was going to score on him? He snatched the ball literally from the center. And my bro was like 5'11". Center was a little bit taller than me, bigger than me too. I did play center, y'all. It may not even look like it, but I did. And
in case y'all didn't know, he is 6'6". When he stands up straight, he normally stands at 6'5".
The audacity!
He does one of those.
It's
ridiculous.
The audacity.
6'6".
Put me out there like that. Anyways, it's all right. I'll get you back. When that video posts that you don't want to post, that'll be the get back. But anyway,
I'm sure you value your life.
I do. It's worth the risk. It's worth the risk.
Anyways, so
that happened, and me and my brother were done with that school, and I ended up going back to La Quinta, which is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done because this was the rival school. So I played for La Quinta, lost to Palm Desert, played with Palm Desert, smacked La Quinta, lost the last game, which was devastating. That was literally my fault. Missed the darn basket. But anyway, no basketball, just straight, no high school basketball. It was over after that. Had to heal up a little bit and then go back to travel ball and try to get looked at, stayed with the coach, and in preparation to play for Houston Tillotson. Shout out to y'all, HTU, what it do. Played for them. And then I didn't play for them yet. I was in preparation to play for them. Then I went out there to Texas, Austin, Texas, great place. Really, really weird city. They mean it. Keep Austin weird. It's weird. It's very calm. It's, different. I like it though. It's calm, quiet. 6th Street is where it gets loud and cracking and popping. It's a great time on 6th Street. So I got to HTU. The heat was different, so I felt out of shape because I had one of them, trying to run up and down the court. But when I broke through and out of that, I was seen as the golden child, which is because I'm coming from California straight to Texas. So it was pretty cool. Got my bearings a little bit. More comfortable, relaxed in practice. Didn't really get the opportunity. Well, I was getting close to getting the opportunity to start when the season started, and had an unfortunate accident, which my teammate fell on my leg, and it went this way. Now, like your arm, you see, I can't do it with the arm. You ain't supposed to do that with the leg. So it reverted, So it went backwards. Ended up snapping a ligament and tore a partial in my meniscus, and I think it has something to do with the hamstring, but it always snaps. So it was pretty terrible, and had to continue to practice. This happened at practice, and had to continue to practice because the other freshmen, my finger jam, I can't play, and so coach was thinking it was one of them freshman thing think, and it wasn't. And I had to continue to practice through that, and that made it much worse. And I guess limited resources with the school, they weren't covering or helping. And being young at that time, it's like, oh, you're not gonna help me? Forget y'all then. I'm over here out here struggling. I'm already by myself, which is what I wanted, because I couldn't stand the desert. I had to get up out of there. I cried at graduation day because I was set free. That's why I cried. But yeah. Senior year was terrible. But anyway. What? But yeah, I was hurt, injured, didn't play basketball, fell into a little depression, and through that depression, I guess you can say the light was the individual that I met at the time that eventually brought me my daughter, which got me up out of my funk. Because shocking as it may be, I was in them streets. Now, I wasn't selling and all that stuff, but I was out there with them. I was kicking it with them. The street walkers and talkers and the slangers and bangers. I was out there. Terrible. Learned the wrong stuff too, and got to doing stuff I wasn't raised to do, drinking and smoking the weed and all that stuff. It was bad. But then I find out baby on the way. I was, shook my life straight. So, short segment on that. I mean, when you are destined to become something, because that's how God wrote it for you in your life, to be able to have this type of impact on the world, because it attribute to saving more people, being an additional light of hope. When you make the wrong decision that steers you off of his path, he puts something that gets you back on the right path. So I took a little left turn, but the left turn still led me back to the right path. So yeah, so I consider it, for me personally, that my daughter saved me out of the direction I was going, and opened the door to an emotion I never really cared for, and that's the LOVE. Still don't say the word too often, but yeah, she really opened the door, and went on from that. Trying to keep it short because she's gonna ask me questions after this. I ain't trying to get all in depth because I figure the questions will put me in a position where I got to be. But after that, we were in Texas, and baby was on the way. Had a little drama, not with the baby mama, but I only said that because it rhymed. Because I say mother of my children, or child, mother of my child. We had a little scuffle because this other girl, I was interested in before her, and they got the bickering and stuff, supposedly from her standpoint. I don't know. I wasn't there, did witness it. But anyway, had to get off campus. Wasn't attending school, lost the academic scholarship because of, the knee injury and falling depression, being out, not being in school or in class, grades slipping. Went from a 3.75 high school to a struggle. I don't even name the GPA. That's just an embarrassment. Family didn't raise me to do nothing like that. So, so I started doing like little jobs in the neighborhood instead of going to class. And with a child on the way, I needed to find a job. Shout out to Dion. Can't remember the last name, so many years ago, but Dion put me on the iTech Electronics. But man, when that email came through at the school email looking for people in marketing and stuff, I was email after email. Please, Lord, help me. Sending email prayers to Dion because I really wanted this job. And so I eventually did get the job at iTech Electronics, started out in the marketing, and that started after freshman year. Yeah, this is all freshman year, y'all. After freshman year, no scholarship. Started working there, got the apartment. Shout out to moms. Put the 1K down so we can get up in that thing. And yeah, just went on from there, catching the bus. Well, that's a lie. I wasn't catching the bus. I didn't know the bus system. So I was walking almost 3 miles, showing up late to work with the FLO. It was out there. Walking to work in the heat, in the cold, till I finally learned the bus system. And yeah, it was pretty cool. Good job fixing all Apple devices and products, selling the necessary accessories to ensure they're protecting the device, because you came in here and cracked it or spilled water on it or whatever the case may be. We ain't trying to see you come back again and have or buy a brand new one. So you might as well protect your device. It's okay. We ain't trying to have repeat customers. We were doing things right the first time. So started out in the marketing, doing Craigslist ads and stuff like that. I forgot wherever else he was having me post. Can't remember. But Craigslist was one of the major ones. It was a huge marketing tool back then, 2010. A lot of people were using it. And went over into the tech side and started repairing the devices. And at that point, Gregory Johnson and I became kind of like brothers and best friends, but yet he's my boss and eventually became my mentor. So with that company, I learned a lot about business and a lot about how to use, the tools that are out there to expand the business, but yet at the same time budget personally and within the business. So he, I guess, sparked an ability that I already had in me, but I did not know of. And so that's where I guess the light opened up in that dark season for me. So Dad always said, have a have a backup plan, because basketball ain't guaranteed. And so I did have one, but I had lost focus of it. But I never knew it would be, business and be in the accounting side. It was more so I'm gonna be a lawyer. So it that really helped. So working with that company, eventually went from like 3 locations to 1 location, a bunch of employees to 2. And I was one of the last ones hired, but he kept me. So that was pretty cool, because most people is out of there, and the people he let go, some of them he grew up with, some of them was his own relative, and he kept me. So I mean that meant a lot. And upon reflecting on it, it meant a lot, and he taught me a lot. And not being in school, being more, money focused, provide for the family. Mm-hmm. I was still in school, but I wasn't 100% dedicated to it, and I eventually just dropped out. So 2010, I believe, was the last time I was in school, and I just worked. And then a dream, I guess you can say, haunted me. Yeah, a dream haunted me, and what the dream was, and it literally lasted for the first quarter of 2012. Yeah, for the first quarter of 2012. So January, March, April, it literally haunted me every single night. Had the same dream of me being homeless on Congress. Anyone who's went to HTU out there in Austin, Texas, you know about Congress. It leads you straight to the Capitol. So on Congress, sitting there chilling, right after the Chipotle too. Can't remember the cross street. I would be sitting right there at that next major building with my hand out, looking at my brother and my dad walk by, being successful and all this stuff, and I'm asking for help. For 3 months, that dream kept coming. And I'm like, you know what? I got to get back in school. So made the call with my dad. Even though me and my dad weren't cool at the time, It's still my dad. Reached out. He was like, yeah, you can come stay. So I stayed. We moved. I moved them, Yvonne and her mother. I moved them back with my dad. I stayed, finished out working at iTech, and then the lease. And we moved. And then I drove back, straight back. When I mean drove straight back, I mean drove straight back. I only slept for 1 hour. It took me 18 hours to get from Austin, Texas to the heart of India. Back to the desert, the place in which I despise. Man, oh man. So yeah, I was there for a little bit. Then I got the phone call from Coach Bibbs. Much respect and love to the Coach Bibbs, #1 HBCU coach in my eyes, whether it be men or women's basketball, about playing at Grambling. Now, Grambling, what? Grambling to me is like Alabama or Kentucky or any of those top schools as far as basketball, football is concerned, because Grambling that's the dream school, and I get to play basketball. Yeah, so I started preparing my mind and getting my GPA up, so that way I can transfer and get my credits in order. So that time with my dad, I was working at Famous Footwear, Palm Desert, and taking straight line courses. I took 18 courses in about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months, so I can get my credits up, because of my age. Don't ask my age. I don't remember. I think I was 21 at the time. I didn't want to come in as a freshman because, I jacked up as a freshman. So I had to get them credits up. So I took about 18 or 21 credits online. They were transferable. And I went to Grambling as a junior. So left out of HT probably like freshman and first semester sophomore, and then went in as a junior. So it was a lot of work into that. Got to Grambling. Grambling was dope. It's fire. I had so much fun. Recommend HBCUs all the way. A lot of connections. Met Jeffrey Sims. Much love and respect to him. Taught me logistics. I put it that way. He taught me how to be logistically minded, making sure you have things in order, so when the machine starts running, everything goes smooth. So he really taught me the logistics, being that he was basketball operations for the women's basketball team, and I pretty much became his assistant. And so as he moved, I moved with him. And so that's one of the things that's within me, as far as if I take a step up, someone has to be taking the step up with me. And I got that from Jeffrey too. So he became and is the director of athletic operations, and for a short time under work study type pay while I was attending, I was his assistant in that as well. So
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. You get to travel with teams, basketball. So it was cool at Grambling. Pretty much this was me at Grambling. What I learned from iTech, I took over to Grambling, and I started reaching out with different universities and building my business at the time, which is IQ Repair. So I had IQ Repair rolling, bringing in some ducats that helped me through and through. I had IQ Repair. I was the women's basketball videographer, then washer, and then manager. I was washing them clothes. And then the manager, and then I was also preparing to be on the men's basketball team, because I had to sit out because of eligibility, because I've been out of college. So certain years I had left, so I had to sit out a year. And then what else I was doing? I was going to school. Yeah, I was going to school also, joined the modeling troupe. Yes, I can model. And yeah, that was the 5 things I was doing up until my daughter had to come live with me. So I had my daughter too. So I was literally doing all of those things, and it was fun. I don't know where I got the energy from to balance 6 different types of me, but yeah, It was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. Partying, hanging out. Not the bad thing is the not going to class thing. That just stayed with me. But my mind was different. I was more focused. So even without one of the semesters I was there for 2 years. For an entire semester I didn't go to class and still got a 3.0. Because I was traveling. Traveling football team, girls basketball team was fun. Yeah. It was a blast. Then I started playing basketball, so that was wonderful, but then not so wonderful because they don't work there anymore. So pretty much they got fired. I don't think they did their job. For someone like me, I should have had 2 years to play, but I ended up getting like 8 games. So it's just like it was ridiculous. I guess there's a reason why they're not there anymore because considering my situation, being injured, having, I guess, 2 years gone, because technically you have like 5 years or something. And then I don't know. It was weird. I don't feel like going through it verbatim right now.
But you were shortchanged the time you should have been able to play.
I was shortchanged for real. It was like, what? So they were let go. So I only got like 8 games because we went to the tournament. But I will say this. The team was trash. Hey, this is y'all can look it up. It was like 0-52.
Oh.
It was this first time ever done in Division I basketball. It was straight trash. And the moment I joined the team, we win 5 games.
Really?
Like officially join the team. Like I can actually sit on the bench and be eligible to get onto the court. We started winning games. I mean, I don't know if it's all me or it's a coincidence, but I'm just gonna take it's on me. So
of
course,
your presence,
my presence,
their abilities.
Yeah, exactly. I went from quadruple double, double 5, triple double to on the bench, and we won 5 games. The fall was hard. The fall was hard. But so Grambling was the highlight. Yeah. Then from there, I was got a few different opportunities. Could have worked at Disney as a manager at Disney World out in Orlando. Had another opportunity after graduation that I could have took. In addition to playing overseas, a lot of people don't really believe that, but the opportunity was there. Just needed to go because I already had to connect to someone who's playing in Barcelona. So he was going to vouch. I just had to show up and do what I had to do out in Dallas, Texas for one of the tryouts. And I wasn't able to take any of those opportunities because I got a nice little notice package, preparing for finals. It's April, preparing for the finals, graduation, and went to the mailbox on campus and got some court documents. So, that's just like that. Boom. Explosion. All those opportunities had to go out the door because I got to do for my child. Mm-hmm. And I had always, present or not, made sure my child was taken care of. So, had to go back to the good old desert, but this time a different desert. Yeah, this time a different desert, small little gas stop city on the way to Arizona. So yeah, had to go through that. Brought me back to the desert, working at Hertz, back into the fold after all those years, from 2009 to 2015. After all those years, back in the fold of the desert, and back to good old Second Baptist. Had to find some positives in being there. So, yeah. Ended up working at Hertz. Hertz was pretty cool. But upon returning, because, Grambling was just so awesome. Had the privilege of traveling with the football team and made my way out to Houston one of those weekends. And eventually met another another individual, another individual that was near and dear at the time. And when I got on back fighting for my daughter, and got some, it's great news, shocking news, because my mental was completely different when it came to this particular topic. But got the news I had another child on the way. So, so I took that kind of hard in the wrong way at the time, all out of fear. And, fear of inadequacy, fear of not doing or being the person I'm supposed to be. So, that relationship ended. And it became a battle after that. And, Mm-hmm. Yeah. But anyway, that was So moved on from there. I had to get on the good foot, or to get right, so I can be a part of my son's life, because I really wasn't, not because I didn't want to. There were some inabilities, some things that caused me not to, because court case with my daughter, finances and stuff like that. So all of which can be used as an excuse. But I felt that I needed to have some sense of establishment, because I was unestablished graduating. I was working at Hertz. Who graduates from college? You're supposed to go into your career after that. And I ended up at Hertz. So, so I felt like I needed to get my stuff together and try to help me find a way. I was a little lost in translation at that time. Got student debt coming in, got to make payments to that, and ain't got no place to stay. So I was staying with my mom, had my daughter. So it's just, I felt like I needed to get some stuff settled. So I wasn't there. Pretty much. I wasn't there. He was 6 months. I was there when he was 6 months old, and then returned back till he was 2. So, yeah.
Okay, but don't make it seem like you just weren't there. Like you said, there were financial difficulties and hard stops on the other side that you couldn't do anything about.
Well,
it's not that
course.
You just weren't there. But I just wasn't there.
No, I wasn't. At the end of the day.
He wasn't there. It was hard.
Yeah,
and
it was
difficult. Other difficulties.
But we worked through those things, and things got better. Started discovering different ways to manage. So had I have known that in the beginning, then I could have, had made some arrangements to be more involved, being that they're out there in Houston and I was in the desert at the time. So, but you learn things when you learn them. You look back in hindsight, all that stuff. So it's all good. But it's good now. Everything's all good. So, I had 2 different mothers of my children. Went through some extremely fiery times with both of them on separate and at the same time. So, Jesus. The Lord made a way. Praise to Him. But so that led me going through that. Just about by myself. I held that from the family. Like only my mom knew. Only my mom knew about it, and my grandparents knew about it, about my son. Just wanted a little bit of like sense of like I failed, and I didn't want to bring like another failure to the family in a sense, because I'm supposed to be the man, creates a family, protects and provides for the family. And on the first occasion, it broke off. That left a little sting. Now the second one broke off, so that's even more of a sting. So I got 2 stings on me, and I was literally carrying it all over my body, mental, spiritual, all of that. So I was carrying that for a very, very long time. Carried that for like 6 years through 2 different women and 2 children. So it just doubled on top. So Yeah, so that's pretty much my story.
It
It,
is.
yeah, that's
That's
pretty much my story.
it.
What
That's
this?
all that happened.
Yeah, that was as far as like it's a nice little timeline. I think there's nothing else to add. What do you think I should add to that? What do y'all think I should add to that? I don't know. What else?
Oh, I don't know. The reason why you ended up continuously coming back to the desert.
The desert? Why would I?
The reason why God had you on a plan that put you back at the desert. I mean, I don't know.
Should we talk
else?
about that?
What else could he possibly need to add to the story?
Do we have to talk about that though?
Well, no, we don't have to.
That's-
This
I
is
mean,
all about you. I can just start asking my
There's
questions now.
there's no sense to talk
I can
about.
ask my questions now.
I mean,
If you're done.
I mean, why would I talk?
Are you finished?
Why would I talk about that? I mean, that's not. But the most important part of the story, dramatic effect. How would I skip that? But yeah, so I I had this, just like I had the dream of me being on the street. I had a dream as a child. It was this silhouette of a woman. I just didn't know what it was. As I got older, I was throwing out hashtags, my mystery woman, and all this stuff. Didn't really know who it was. Thought it was this woman. Wasn't that woman. Thought it was this one. Wasn't that one. This one. Yeah, there was quite a few of them. I had chapters, y'all. I had some chapters. Man.
Double digits.
Double. The big double digits. At least for me, they were big double digits. But yeah. But anyway, just didn't know. Didn't know who this person was until I saw this person back in the year 2000. I knew what it was moving forward. She didn't know. So, I acted out. Had 2 kids. No, I'm just playing. It wasn't like that. It's just how it happened. just how it happened. All jokes aside. But yeah, so 2017 came around. I was still in the desert at the time. Well, no, I wasn't in the desert. 2016 came around. And after many, many years of rejection and just forget about it, life moves on, stuff like that. Then there's a prime opportunity to be like, you know what? I think it's time. So I started plotting. Yeah, I'm finna tell the truth. Might be some Second Baptist folk that are going to listen to this. And they might be like, oh, I knew it. And that's okay. But this is the truth. I ain't finna lie. But yeah, so one time I went back to church. They had a business meeting that day. Business meeting looked terrible. I hurt my soul to see my home church looking like this, presenting it to the report. I couldn't, man, all the people I'm used to seeing, they just gone. I don't know what's happening. I mean, it seemed like they was in trouble. And they needed some help, and the pastor was like, well, all y'all got this to say, they know all y'all got all these skills, nobody wants to help, blah, 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 and I just had to stand up. I just had to do it. So after my mama said it was okay for me to do it, I stood up and put my hands up. I can help use my skills and help the church, get things in order, clean the report up so we can know the actual story of how we got here to this point. And what we can use from that information, what we can use with that information and from acquiring it, how we can, build a brighter future and get back to the Second Baptist of old. So I just came in there to do the report and clean up the report and discovered some truths through that report. And all of a sudden, the Second Baptist of old showed up. So it was good to see that. But then it wasn't so good to deliver the report, to deliver the truth. The truth scared a lot of people. And because I wasn't there, I didn't really fully understand all that the people had gone through that caused that type of mentality. So, I broke down a little emotionally because I'm sitting here, though the news is devastating, I'm excited. And I want to show that I'm excited in giving their report and in my action because there is a way out. And I know the way out. I know how to come back from it. So it's just like, yeah, it hurts. But then at the same time, the one delivering it, I'm doing it all alone, all by myself. Ain't nobody standing up there with me. Everyone's sitting down listening to me. So some people got indicted from that report. Some people did. Some probably held a little resentment because I went out there and pointed. Well, I wouldn't say directly pointed, but indirectly, because the people didn't know who was all involved, and
Right.
and how we can get back on the good foot. So from that, I felt, because of the environment being in the sense that because someone may have the responsibility of doing something within the church, with some individuals it goes to their head. Now it becomes like a power thing.
Right.
And I've seen that in college, going to different churches, how that became a power thing, and it almost turned kind of cultish. Like, if you don't do this and that, you can't be a part of this group. Like, what? This is a religion.
Right.
How does that even, what?
Should not
I can't be a part of this group. What? We're all supposed to be pushing the word out to help save people, to give them salvation. Why can't? But anyway, regardless of that, that's another topic. But yeah. So I guess I felt I needed to safeguard myself from having that type of mentality.
Right.
So I suggested that other people, be a part of this. So it's not solely all on me. Have other people here. That way you can cross-check and back-check and, hold me accountable to make sure I don't get lazy or the reports end up being sloppy. Just, keep me on my toes. So being that I know there's someone, that mystery woman that I already knew, it's just she's still in the desert. She's still at the church. I was just might as well pick the people I feel that can help financially with different experiences, and then bring her on. Because at the end of the day, I have shown the history within that church of doing that. She wasn't paying no darn attention, but I was. She was singing in the choir, I was singing in the choir. She was praise dancing, I was praise dancing. I didn't get it. She was going to vacation Bible school, I was going to vacation Bible school. So, this is how it was. She was going to youth meeting, I was going to youth meeting, and passing notes, being as blunt as I could as a kid. So I'm like, you know what? She gonna be right here with me too.
Anyway.
Yes, indeed. So I used the church. Yeah, I don't know if that's a good thing to say, but I did. I used the church to the closer so I can get close to you. But anyway, yeah, I did, and it worked. And the whole point of it was I needed you to see what you could have had if you hadn't rejected me all them years. But that was the overall mission. But you did have skill, though. It was needed skill to be on the board, the trustee board. It was needed skill to take notes. But not on. Well, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Accidentally.
You was just in the board, or on assisting the board, whatever.
I was supposed to be the board secretary.
Yeah, she was just supposed to be the secretary, take down notes. She's a good helper, because she's always helped the kids, whether it be in youth meeting or praise dance. So I just, yeah, it would be a great for you to join the team, and have to do some convincing to get her on the team. And I can be quite persuasive. I ain't gonna lie about that. And yeah, so the motivation was for you to get close to me, but yet I had to justify the reason as to why you would be of importance and of value to the team.
Yeah.
So I had to push that, knowing in the back of my head what it was really for.
You're such a great secretary, and you're working with the youth, and the youth is the future, so we need you to understand and be a part. Yeah.
I worked it all then. Because it's true. a lot of people that are in the place now, they're exiting. So the only way we can ensure that the history doesn't repeat itself is by having someone who's directly connected to the youth. The youth will actually listen to this individual, that being you, and they'll get the honest direction of where they should go, rather than have this mentality that, oh, this is mine, I'm gonna do it my way because this is the position I have, and it's above yours because it's in the Bible or not in the Bible.
Right.
So that's just how I thought. I just felt that the future needed to have a completely different change in their mentality, because the mentality was crippling.
Right.
It had to have been from me being there and it was packed and loaded, and then me returning, ain't nobody there.
Right.
So, and people do things by habit and it becomes their nature. So now I'm seeing it. So it's like, you had to have been doing all this that could potentially drive, or did drive, all these people away. So everything, the culture, everything had to change. So we needed someone, I felt, moving forward that can know, understand, and learn while you're taking all these notes, and then pass it on to the kids. And me being a younger individual, I would be involved or associated with, because at that time my mind was, I'm in India. So
Right. So in that position of being secretary, we ended up having to work very closely because, one, trustee finances not my strong suit, and I wasn't just the secretary. I ended up having to be a trustee, so I had to learn. And this was my teacher. And being the secretary, I needed to make sure that he saw, everyone saw. So there was a lot of contact, which is exactly what he wanted.
Exactly what I wanted.
So, and that's really how all of this began.
Yeah.
All
What's
right.
this guy say is kind of funny, because I was a teacher of somebody else, and I ended up, it was just weird. Me teaching, ended up having, like, my first relationship was based off of teaching, and then now my last relationship, is held off of teaching. I was, it's funny how things come around. Yeah.
Teaching in that place that you absolutely hated, the desert.
Well, me and her didn't start in the desert.
I'm talking about us.
Oh, well, yeah.
All right, so I think it's safe to say we are at the Q&A portion. Yes?
Yeah, ask me what you want to ask me now.
All right, so
I don't even know how long this has been going on. But that's okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll fix it or do whatever later.
We ain't fixing. This is the get to know part. This is
Okay.
probably gonna be all the other videos would be
For
like
shorter,
less than an
yeah.
hour.
All right, so anyways, so when you first started, you were not being very specific. It was we. So who exactly, like, in your house? I know what my house looked like. What did your house look like? Who were you with in your house as a child?
Mom, dad, and brothers?
Okay, so there's 3 brothers.
No, it's not 3 brothers. It's only 2.
Well, I'm not one of them, so I'm saying, because I'm talking, you would say you
gotcha.
had 2 brothers. But
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
saying there's 3 brothers.
It was the Fro
and then-
boys. Yeah, Fro. F-R-O. Floydell, R-L, Ozell. Fro.
3 brothers, a mom, and a dad. All right,
Yeah.
excellent.
5 on it.
All right, so for those who were watching, there was a episode about the demon. Now, normally those types of things come from background situations. So where in your background
Be specific.
where in your background did that mentality of what the demon is start? Was that from home and your parents' relationship, or high school and that just being awkward for everybody and possible rejection? I know you're always looking at me, 17 years. So where did that come from?
It was all you. You started me on my way and manipulating the mind of a woman, getting her to like, and then so she can feel the pain of rejection like I did. It's all you.
So now, seriously,
it was you.
really?
No,
I know.
it was you and another lady at the time, that I was interested in. Yeah.
All right.
No, but what do you mean by wait? What was? You guys have to remember, my mind is literally like the memory. It'd be hit or miss. I've taken a lot of hits to the head and a lot of falls, like legit.
So we once had a conversation.
No, the demon. What was my demon? Fear of being inadequate.
Yeah, fear of being inadequate, and that time.
And then always trying to mess up a good thing. Okay, so because of that, like for real, like you two women specifically, that rejection kind of made me feel like I wasn't good enough, or inadequate or adequate enough, and then moving from there, seeing how my parents interacted, like that's what a marriage is supposed to be, which is a great representation, because everyone else pretty much divorced. And then for those that are married, there is some level where there's a break of distrust, infidelity. I have no idea what it is, but there is always that. But yet they're still married.
Okay.
So it's just like that's not necessarily a great example to follow, because I don't think we would be here if I was following. If I don't know what it actually is, but the infidelity and all that stuff. I have no idea. Turn the alarm off. We got kids. It's FLO, so I don't care.
There's 3 of them.
Turn the alarm off.
All 3.
Anybody want to hear that?
I don't even know why you turned it on.
You ain't ready. Time to get ready for school.
Although they do need to get ready for bed.
Turn the alarm off. What do you mean? Why is it on?
It's Yvonne.
I didn't turn it.
Turn it off. Go turn it off.
That doesn't sound anything like
Oh my gosh.
metal. Anyways, I think we need to take a pause.
We only take a pause. Can we keep going?
All right. So you and I had a conversation, and before your first relationship, something happened with your parents that devastated you. And from our conversation that we had,
I was getting to that.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you were alluding to it, and then the alarm. Or...
Yeah, the alarm threw me off. Yeah, so I was alluding to that because my parents, like I said, they showed a great example of what a marriage is, supposed to look like. Because it didn't seem as though the ones that were married would be great examples, and everybody else being divorced. And then grandma that I lived with, husband passed. So her husband passed. Okay. So that's what that was the example of what a marriage is supposed to look like. And then it was blown up in shambles. Yeah.
And so you don't have to get into the details.
No, I can get into details. So freshman year, I was my family, to be honest, it was cool to see my parents like argue, because they argued a lot. But then I'm just gonna keep it real. They argued a lot. It was a lot of yelling. I felt like a lot of it revolved around me. That's just how I feel. They may say otherwise, or it's not your fault and blah blah blah, but I felt
feel that way, so
it was around me because my name was called many, many times. So I felt it was around me. So they argued a lot, but yet still they were still together. They still laughed, jokes, whatever the case may be. But come to find out, that was all somewhat of a front to help the kids get out of the house, so that way themselves can separate. So when that happened, I was a freshman, and no, it was after my freshman year. And I found out that summer that my parents had been faking it since I was a junior. So it's just like, oh, what?
So they've been faking it since you were a junior in high school.
Yeah, in high school.
And it was after your
freshman
year in college.
Mm-hmm. So it's just like, what? And then
both brothers were still at the house?
Yeah, they're still at the house. So they, so come to find out. Then as, since I'm older and I wasn't supposed to find out, because I guess my dad wanted the entire family to sit and talk so we can, have that, I guess, a formal conversation, and whatever we felt we could say at that time, but it never happened because my mama ended up telling me. And so now I'm getting like, because I'm in Texas, I'm a distance away, I'm getting like bits and pieces of the conversation, and come to find out that it was like the marriage was over years ago. And it's just like, what? So I guess you can say the heart started pumping in the demon at that point in time.
Okay. So, then awakened. So it was like a precursor, me and whoever the other lady person was, and then the knowledge about your parents was like breathed life into the demon. Okay.
Because she even said I was distant after that.
Your mom?
No.
Oh.
The
mother.
The mother of Yvonne. She said I was distant after that, and that kind of helped our relationship shift at that point. It took some time for it to become permanent, but yeah, I wasn't the same me after that.
All right. So, did you notice a difference in yourself after that? I mean, at that point in time, after you and her split, did you notice that there was a difference between you, or did you at that time notice that there was this new entity, this like the demon phenomena?
Not really, no.
So when did you recognize that?
I would probably say when I started adding chapters to my life. So 2012.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 2012.
Alrighty.
I think it's 2012, 2013, somewhere in there.
Okay, so then.
And then when I allowed it to actually live and like take over was probably the end of 2013. Yeah, the end of 2013.
That's when you were having all the chapters.
No. I didn't have no chapters at the end of 2013.
Okay, so what was the end of 2013?
That's when.
Were you with the second mother at that time?
No, I was with somebody
before
else.
her.
I was with somebody else.
Okay.
So after that relationship,
that was number 2 of the 3 that I know of.
I've only been in 3 relationships.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. That was number
before
2
you.
of the 3.
Make sure I include that statement before you.
I know what you meant.
Yeah. So after the second one, it took over.
Okay. So then, where does relationship number 3 come into play? Because like now at this point, you know that you have this self-sabotaging demon. Now you've allowed the self-sabotaging demon to like just completely like full force and just, I'm just gonna call it, be greedy. How do you get to relationship number 3 with that knowledge?
Because of the person at the time. So the person, because of her, I guess you can say her personality, her spirit, and what she was providing, it put that away.
Okay.
So that's how I was able to be in that relationship and then not sabotage it.
Okay.
Like self-sabotage it. Like I inadvertently did with the first one. Kind of with the second one, but not really. Because that wasn't necessarily all on me.
Right.
So, but yeah, with her, it was personality. She was put that at bay, and I think the self-sabotaging didn't come into play because I was still in Grambling, and she was in Houston, so there wasn't like all the time a connection between the both of us. It was, oh, I'm so happy to see you again, blah blah blah. We're gonna hang out, kick it for a week or whatever the case may be, or the weekend, and then I'll go back.
Okay. So
it was. I think that probably played a role in it because the other two, more consistent contact.
Okay. So now relationship 3 is no more. officially after you go and visit in June and all that transpires. Officially after you go and visit, because
that was in no, that our relationship was like officially dead to me in 2015, 4th of July.
Why?
That's where it was officially dead, because I found out she was pregnant in May. Yeah, I found out she was pregnant in May or June, and I left in April. I left April 25th because I was able to take my finals early, and so I spent that weekend with her before I left. And yeah, that was the weekend the child was conceived. So I find out in like end of May or June, and yeah, but she had moved on before then. But for me, yeah.
For you, what?
For me, it was over in July. Because I had heard she was with somebody, but I still held out hope. Because, again, that was the person that put the demon at bay.
Right. So, if you guys didn't know, relationship number 3 was a possible mate. So, there was a possible...
What do you mean by possible
There
mate?
was a possible proposal.
There was a proposal planned.
Yes.
On a particular day, the day in which we met, a year later after we met. So, yeah.
Right. So... Because you...
So, yeah.
When we talked, we talked and I looked at your research. You went... Like, you were going back to get her back, knowing she was with somebody else. That wasn't...
Yeah, that was the same time.
Oh, okay.
It was the same year, 2015. Went down there.
I thought it was after he was born. Okay.
No, 2015. Went down there and got crushed.
Okay.
That was the first. Yeah, that was. It was the first heartbreak. I'm gonna just put it like that. Everyone has theirs. Like, oh, at 16. No, I was 24 at the time, and I was crushed. Literally weeping, crushed. Yeah. I was at her mama's house in her room, and she was pregnant. You could see the belly and everything with the person that she was with outside across the street, and I was at her mama's house in her room, like bawling tears. You know, on the phone, my mama couldn't breathe, none of that stuff. Yeah. And after that, tried to fight a little bit more. No, you want to be there, blah, blah, blah. And then the dark cloud came back, and I went buck wild again.
Okay. All right. So this demon, which is still in existence.
Yeah.
Which you're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which having that knowledge kind of... We're going to have to talk about that, but we'll do that off camera. I don't know if we need to do that on camera. But, alright, so... Gosh. I don't know what else to ask. Let's just sit for a minute.
Well, I would say this is intermission time, I guess. This is our official logo. I came up with the concept. I drew it out on a piece of paper. I did not have the faith in her that she would be able to computer generate it.
Messed up.
And I was taken by surprise. But yeah, this is our official logo, Living with FLO. We're working on a few little ideas as far as apparel, so that way you guys can, support the blending of the family. So if you guys have any ideas, or if you have any additional questions based on what I have said so far, you can just send us an email at...
I forgot.
Oh my God.
Life with FLO.
Yes, lifewithqflow@gmail.com. So if you have any more questions for me, just like send it over there to there. Put the subject title Floydell or Flow. No, actually, just do Flow. Just subject title Flow, so that way I know, and then we can address those questions that you have. And I will be completely honest, because I have to be.
Oh yeah.
This is the hot seat.
I got it. So now you've got a son and a daughter from 2 other women, and here we sit blending families.
Yeah.
You must have all sorts of ideas and thought processes that have come about in having the 2 of them and now having to incorporate another child and spouse-like person for the time being, because technically I'm not your spouse yet. But so are there, I mean, because obviously we know there are some thoughts that you have that I don't agree with and don't honestly understand. Can you, would you be so kind and explain how the mothers of your children fit into your idea of family?
What are your thoughts?
That's not what's happening here. I'm asking a question and you're supposed to answer it.
But I need to understand where you're coming from, because I'm half confused.
My question is, how do the mothers of your children fit into family as far as you're concerned?
You said we don't have the same thoughts. So what is your thought, so I can understand where you're coming from, I can explain my thought?
I'm talking about hard work, you and I getting down and dirty conversations, Floydell's ideal thinking of.
My only thinking is that they're family, and I'm going to look out for them.
Okay. Take care of them as if
I'm going to have their back. If they need me, I have their back, because they family.
Whatever they need.
Yeah, because that's my children's. Yeah, that was my children's mother. If I can do it, I'm going to do it. Okay, and I'm going to have their back. Is that what you're talking about?
Uh-huh. I wanted you to say that. Now,
key word was us working together. So that don't indict me as though that is my current mentality.
It's a process. Wait.
Yes, it is.
You should. No, I'm not talking about that. This question, what we're getting to, is a process.
Okay.
So that was in our beginning, because not in the beginning, but in our beginning. That was the thought process. And then after us.
Which beginning? Our beginning or our beginning?
Our beginning.
Beginning. So November beginning.
No, not official beginning. I just said our beginning.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a complicated matter. Don't worry about it.
I mean, because some people say we was together, but together apart.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, in our beginning. Stupid. Okay, in our beginning, with that thought process, and then you and I had conversations because of things that you were doing, what was going through your head when I would tell you stuff? Like, why are you doing that? And you're like, well, they're like family.
Because that's how I see it.
Right. So, but I'm talking about like your reaction to me asking.
Solid.
Like, why?
Excuse me. I'm trying to speak as though I'm in that person. So that's why I'm saying see it. But right now it's solid.
It's past tense. It is past tense. It will be past tense. So, but I'm saying, my response, like you're saying this, that, and I'm like, no, I don't understand. Why would you do that? That makes no sense. What was your reaction to my thoughts? My thought process on what you were saying?
Because you were opposite?
Yes.
You don't know what you're talking about?
That's it.
Yeah, like whatever, it literally in one ear, okay, out the other. What?
Okay. But now, talk about your process going from this is what it is, you don't know what you're talking about, to now. 3.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, because we're blending families, so that, you have your ideas, I have my ideas, and somehow we have to find an in-between or come to an understanding that we can work with. So
yeah, well,
that's what we're talking about.
In-between. What? What?
That's what we're talking about here. So this has honestly been a really...
You talking about the widow's peak?
I'm gonna hush.
Well, that's the in between.
Hush. So this has been a big thing for us because we do have differences, which you'll find out when you watch the episode where it's all about me. So that's why I definitely want to bring it up. So before it was their family, whatever they need, I got them. And then I don't understand why, Aquia, you don't understand how I feel about this. You don't know what you're talking about. And now you're at...
In the process?
This is when you speak. Now you're at ... You take over.
I'm in the process.
Of?
Conforming to your mentality.
Which would be?
Which I don't have a problem with. So I don't want people to take that statement the wrong way. Like I need to become Q and her way of thinking. But no. When it comes to being in a relationship, the only way it works is if we have the same objective or the same end result. And so that end result being, you know, as I would always put it, keep my peace. So to have the peace. Mm-hmm. So to have the peace, we have to be on, you know, the same page.
Right.
In essence. So whatever it is that I got to do to ensure I have the peace and we are at peace, that's what I'm going to provide, the missing piece.
Okay.
Because I don't have the peace, I got to put the peace in.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all
right.
like that quadruple entendre. No, I'm just playing.
Anyways, okay, so we had that progression. To be honest, I would like to say that in the last...
And this is fairly recent, because last time we were kicking it with the crew and we had a conversation about this, what? Red in the face, fuming. Because I said, oh, they can come stay over at the crib. It's all good. Because the question, what was the question exactly? The question was posed.
What's the name of the game? We were playing a game, and it's got like the cards. It has cards, or the cards have questions on them, and so the question was, I don't know. There was like a series of like, would you be upset or would you allow your partner to do X, Y, Z for? It was X like
a marriage type of game.
So for X amount of money, and so like, if it's him getting more money, he is down to do it.
Oh, anything for the family. I'll spread it wide, make it clap, slide down the pole. It don't matter.
So I learned that about him.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it up to be a Fortune 500 CEO. What?
But so from one of those questions, it bridged into, because in our crew group, you know, we're the only one of us. We're the only blending family.
Yeah. They
follow direction.
Yeah, they follow direction. They listen to the Lord.
Yes. We got a little
They went by the scriptures.
But yeah, so we're the only ones. So it kind of, you know, there was a...
And the only ones not married.
That too. Like I said, we're the only ones of us.
Yeah, because it's literally 12 of us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Everyone other than us are married, and those who have kids, like those are their kids.
One of them, they blended. It was a half blend. Because she came with a son, and then they created children. So it's a half blend. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But with the immediate crew, though, we're the only ones.
That's the family. That's not the crew. That's why you have me all messed up.
Yeah, well.
Our groups have names, so we can keep them in.
Oh, we have a few group chats going out there.
Yes.
It's all good though.
So, oddly enough, the majority of them are all the same people.
Yeah.
But anyways. But yeah, so from one of those questions, it went around to us specifically, like, you know, if...
Because we're the only ones.
Yeah.
So what if your baby dad...
Parent, so for me, my daughter's father, and for him, his children's mothers, if the other parent, you know, needed help and needed a place to stay, like, would you be open to doing that?
Would you open your doors?
And I was like, no.
And
I would help, but you would not be in my house.
And I said no to the helping. He can just chill at the house. They can just be at the house.
Yeah.
So it's just like, no, that's your daughter's father. That's my kid's mother. If anything, they get to see the kids more because we got the kids. I mean, we got, the daughters. My son visits, I visit my son.
Right.
But yeah, we got the girls. And in the event, if it ever happens, I have my son, then yeah, she can come to like what? She can come.
So
what's the problem with
he
that?
He said chill. He meant live with.
Yeah.
It's not. They're not coming by just to hang out for a few hours and then go home.
They heard you say, yeah.
They're coming to stay, and I was like, no. But I would help them be in a place for X amount of time while they get themselves together.
Yeah,
they're just not going to be in my house. He's
and
like,
I
no,
rather
they're
from
gonna be in the house.
I rather from a monetary perspective, I'm not finna pay for your hotel or what. No, you just I'll deal with the water bill going up or something like that. No, you can chill at the house, get on your feet, and then upsy daisy, up out of there.
And I was all about
no big
my
deal.
house will be a peaceful, calming space for me
and I feel it'll be
my
peaceful.
family, and that means that there's only one woman in the house, one mama, one man, one father figure. That's it. All other adults will be treated as visitors. You can come, but you do have to go somewhere else at nighttime. And I think that, I would much rather spend the extra money so that in my house I'm at peace.
Yeah, so
But
because this episode's about me. So in me responding to that, it was more along the lines of what I'm picturing is the house where we're at, and then there's a guest house. I would have no problem with that. That's not a big deal with me.
That's too close. But anyways,
at that time, that's what it was. It wasn't a big deal because
that was
if I were to fall in that situation, I would expect it because sometimes you would just need that. And it's a win because there's a kid involved. So it's close contact for them.
So that was the second of the you don't know what you're talking about family thought process.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big, literally, he said yes, he did da 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 da. And then, of course, our friends are like, so if she's not okay with it, that's what we're going to do. Da da da. And I'm just sitting there, not speaking, hardly breathing. And
yeah, some of it was
just
you would only allow
upset.
You would only allow Ray's dad to. It was what did he say? What did Darnell say? Darnell said you're only saying you will allow Ray's dad to be in the house because you want your two mothers kids to be able to be there also. And I'm just like, nah. That has nothing to do with it because I'm thinking of Ray being able to see her father more. That's just how it is.
I get that
because when the opposite parent has the child, then that means the visiting parent doesn't get to see them as much. Mm-hmm. So that would mean more time. I ain't got an issue with that. And Carl want to be funny. Well, what if you walking around the house in his drawers? I was like, that is not going to happen because in my head, there will be a problem because like, bro, I got other kids here. They don't need to see you like that. You don't need to be exposing yourself. I don't want to see that. She don't need to see that. Probably don't want to see that. There's a reason why y'all not together. I don't need her throwing up all across the floor. But anyway, he would be up in the guest house. So it's just like, ain't no big deal. That's how it is in my head. So when I was answering those questions, that was really my thought process.
Right. So it's,
Any other questions?
Thank God for the crew. I just want to throw that out there. Clarks, love y'all. You're amazing.
That's all of them. Crew's crew. emphasis on the Clarks, but
yeah.
anyway.
I think that those are pretty much it, because when we talk about me, we're gonna end up probably tying it all together. So
yeah, and depending on how long this video is, you will probably be on the time crunch.
Oh, I have to be on a time crunch, even though you wanted to talk about everything except the reason.
You told me to go through all that stuff.
I told you to go through your family life and relationships because we're talking about blending our families. I didn't need to know nothing about.
But all of that
Keith
stuff.
to high school,
But all of that gave me
Palm
that type of
Desert.
mentality, that vengeful type of mentality, being irritated and upset. All of those negative thoughts allow the demon to be pieced together, and this is what got the heart pumping.
So, like what you would tell me, you could have condensed it.
Hey,
exactly. You could have condensed all of that.
Well, they didn't know my story, and I needed to give them my testimony, so they know my story.
But anyway, so this is part 1. There's going to be a part 2 where we'll be talking about me and my background. Just kind of setting you guys up, giving you guys some information so that you'll be well in the know about FLO.
Yeah.
So you're not the only person who can rhyme.
Our thought processes are completely different. So that is one thing that also needs to blend to make things work, not just the kids, but us.
But oddly enough, the thing we share in common is stubbornness. Which makes it all the more fun.
Yeah. Thank you for interrupting me. I forgot what I was saying.
You literally had stopped.
No, I took a breath.
That was the longest breath in history.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was not at all.
It's a draft.
But as I was trying to be deep and philosophical when it comes to blending, yes. So we have to look at the camera. The people want to see you. They want to see you looking at me the whole time.
No,
I'm good looking, but Jesus.
I was being funny.
Come on now.
Since I interrupted you during your philosophical speech.
But as I was saying, we not just blending the kids and that dynamic, all 3 of them, but making sure we're on the same page. Because, I mean, we were cool. We've been cool, kicking it, chilling. Because I would not, I didn't say girlfriend. I just, no. That's my woman. I'm her man. Then we went to the fiance. I'm grown. I ain't talking to no girl. I'm talking to a woman. So, yeah. So I guess I throws people off a little bit too. But anyway.
No, it has them all the way confused.
Well, yeah, that is true. So it's like, when you give her the ring, does that make her your girlfriend or your fiance? I'm like, y'all being funny. But they were dead serious because my thought process is completely different than a lot of people. But yeah, so I just feel that there's got to be a lot of change on my part because I was, I guess you can say, free willy out of the 2 of us. So, and me being free willy and the I don't know how my relationships worked in the past is completely the wrong way, I guess.
It's
but
not
it was
wrong, it's just different.
Interrupt me again. The wrong way, I guess, but not really, because every relationship works differently. Some things are okay in one relationship and not okay in the other because of the personality and the person that you're with. So there has to be a little bit of more confirming and understanding of me to me understanding you, because me and you in the together apart situation is completely different. Because your mind's like, who made you? You weren't even like this back then. Why is this even what?
We were together
but it's
apart.
a different. It's different. There's levels, and so we're on a different level. And so, for me to get to the next level, I gotta put in the work and understand, do some more. I thought I had a doctorate degree, but I guess I didn't. So, gotta get on the same page. And more importantly, beginning to write that page in unison. So,
yes.
Yeah.
good.
That's good?
It is.
Because I ain't editing nothing now. We're going to shorten this up next time. Because I ain't got that many questions.
I didn't have that many. It was like, what, 5?
Well, I got questions, but let's see if you're going to answer them. Because I thought yours was going to be more drilling. I thought you was going to open up the can of... Well, I guess we use all that for the other topics. All right, then. Bye-bye. All right, you can go. Oh, Lord. That's how I feel for this episode. The seat is actually hot. This is the hot seat today.
I don't think it's going to be as hot as the last one.
No, that wasn't. That was the dark seat. This is the hot seat.
Okay.
But yeah, welcome back. Where we're going to be honest, open, and transparent as we communicate with you, the listeners, and the watchers. Yeah, so we're just going to talk about us. Well, me today.
Right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about me today because it's all about me today. Yeah, not entirely excited about it, but it's all good, though. It's all good. I mean, you don't want to walk into the unknown. You want to walk into known. Know what you're dealing with have to work through each and every day. The personalities do change often depending on the situation or the circumstance. Might be the happy flow, the mad flow, the frustrated flow. But hey, as long as you know flow, everything is going to flow the way it's supposed to go.
Right. So today,
Yeah.
we're just going to move on forward. Today we are going to be doing the background check with a Q&A.
No, we don't even have to tell them the title of the episode.
Why? I love it.
You don't have to
thought
tell
of it.
them.
I thought it was really cool and
No,
clever.
listen. You don't have to tell them the title of the episode. We can just get into it because the title, we can just type that in. And
I
then
know,
they
but
get
it
it that
sounds good too, so I wanted to say it. So
now
I'm
it
not
feels like a
prepared.
movie. Like you're just waiting for that movie title to be named in the movie.
But you don't hear it. They just like show
No,
it.
they actually say it sometimes in the movie.
Hardly ever.
Yeah.
Not normally.
I'm finna get rich or die trying. And they said it all in the movie.